We then started dating, I think 2009. And look, the age, he always said to me, age is nothing but a number. And I think the first 2 years were a challenge, but I ended up accepting it, that look, he's younger than me. That is what he wants. That is what I wanted. And we started dating. We had a very good relationship. I think the basis of our relationship was friendship, because we're more of friends more than anything else. Everything else was added on, but we're closer and tighter as friends than the actual relationship, which is why even when we went our separate ways in 2018, we still remained very close friends, and people never understood why we're still friends. Some others were saying they broke up, others were saying they didn't break up, others were saying we're together. We remained friends till the last day.
Okay, so Zodwa, when that phone call came on Sunday, early Sunday of the 8th of November 2020, I know it's difficult to ask this, but how did you feel?
You know what? When the phone call came, I didn't believe. I was called by Rumours, I think, as he got to the accident scene. He called, said, Zodwa, Genius has been involved in a car accident. And I said, what? Normally when I sleep, I put my phone on silent. But that particular night, for one reason or the other, my phone was not on silent. He had called me around 1 a.m. in the morning because Genius, when he went to the club, he would call at any time because he wanted everyone to club with him. But I was not one of those girls that loved clubbing. And also, I've outgrown that life. So I wouldn't go clubbing. He would call, come, let's do this. He would phone. So he phoned me at 1 in the morning, that particular Sunday. And he was just asking stupid questions, Genius being Genius. And then when Rumours called me, I couldn't believe it. He says, Genius has had an accident, and he just started crying. And I said, is Genius okay? He said, no, Genius is dead. Where are you? I'm on Borodale Road. He couldn't tell me which part of Borodale Road. I didn't know what to do. I just jumped out of bed, went out of my room. I told my kids. My eldest daughter just started throwing up. The younger one started vomiting as well. I didn't know what was going on. I went downstairs wearing my pajamas, got into the car. I realized I was wearing pajamas. I went back up. I changed. I tried to drive. I couldn't drive. I had to ask my driver. Fortunately, my driver was at home. Like, look, can you drive me? Genius has just had a car accident. I told everyone else. His aunt was at my house that weekend, and one of his younger brother's wives was also at my house that same day. So I just told them, and then I just drove off. I went to the accident scene. When I got there, I couldn't believe. I thought maybe he was going to wake up. I got there. I tried to go to his body. He was lifeless. They'd covered him with leaves. It was, I don't wish that on anybody. I don't wish that on anybody. The other people that died with him, it was painful to hear the screams and people. I got there literally, I think less than about 10-15 minutes after the accident had happened. It was painful. It still is painful. It's really difficult for us all. The family is very difficult. Genius was very close to me. We're quite close to each other. People, like they say, they would never understand the relationship I had with Genius. No one can ever understand that. Up to the day of his death, the previous weekend before he died, I went for a function in his area. And then after the function, I decided, let me go and see Genius. I've not seen him in a while. I think I've not seen him in a week or so. I went there on a Saturday. I go to his house. Usually, I would never just go to his house. Just like would just not come to mine. We would phone each other. Are you okay? Are you free? Can I come through? I would go and visit him. So that Saturday, I just went to visit him. He was shocked to see me by his gate. I said, no, it's okay. I've just come to see you, check if you're okay. It's been a while. He got there, I think it was around 3-4 in the afternoon. I spent literally the whole afternoon into the night, around 11-12. Then I came back home. He was now going to the club. That's actually the last time I saw Genius. It's like I went there to say goodbye. I have no regrets. At least I got to spend some time with him. I spent a good 4, 5, 6 hours with him. We had dinner. And then he went to the club. Then I went home. And fine, I spoke to Genius. He's one of those people that every day of my life, after my exercise, 6 a.m., I'm done. First person I call is Genius. If I didn't call him by 6:30, he would call. Wang, Deipi, are you okay? Is everything okay? What's going on today? That was Genius for you. We had a very good relationship. We understood each other. I don't think there will be anyone that I can ever, or any friend or male friend that can get me the way Genius got me. Genius understood me that even before I lied to him about anything, he would say, wangu you are lying to me. Why are you saying that? I know you are lying. He knew me very well. He read me like a book. That's Genius for you. But God's time, always God's time. He took him when we're not expecting. He's the least people. I remember when I was still staying with him in Domboshawa, he used to say, this is where I want you to be buried. This is where we are going to be buried. And he always believed I was going to die before him. I think maybe because of the age difference. He always thought I was going to die before him. But unfortunately, he went before me. And I have got no regrets. He was a good man. We shared what we shared. And I would do it over again.
So Zodwa, were you really married to Ginimbi?
Well, on the time of his death, we were divorced. We were no longer living together. We got engaged. He paid his bride price. We never had a white wedding, but traditionally, yes.
Okay, and how was your separation like? Was your separation amicable?
It was very amicable. That's why, I mean, if it was rough, I'm sure you guys, you know social media in Zimbabwe. People don't talk. They still said so much rubbish. We agreed to disagree. I was not happy. He didn't want me to leave. But for some reasons, best known that I cannot share publicly, I mean, he's not here to defend himself. So even if I said what we agreed or what we did not agree, he's not here to defend himself. So I would rather not talk about them. We agreed with Genius. We went our separate ways, but we remained, which is why we remained friends. He came to my house whenever he wanted. He had a very good relationship with my kids. Sometimes I would come home, I would find him having lunch or having dinner with the girls. They loved him to bits, especially the younger girl. My younger girl, Melissa, was, I think, 5 years when I started dating Genius. So literally, Genius is the father that she knew, is the father that brought her, which is why she calls her dad. You know, being a father to somebody doesn't mean you're a biological father. You can be a father because you've raised the child up. Genius raised Busi up for me. He was there when Busi was a baby until now she's 19 years of age. And the only father that she really know is Genius. Fine, she has a biological dad who is in England, but Genius was always there. Genius knows Busi even precious more than their biological father. I know many people say the biological father is dead. He's not. He's alive. He's in England there. He's there in England. He did not pass away. He is much alive.
Okay, Zodwa, I mean, we all knew Ginimbi as a playboy. I mean, that is something. I mean, for his age, he was still growing up. Someone who really wanted to have fun. How did you deal with his many girlfriends?
To be honest with you, I never met one girl of Genius. I heard he had girlfriends. People told me, we've seen him with this one, we've seen him that one. He had too much respect for me. He would never bring the girlfriends in front of me. He would never flaunt them in front of me. If I met up with him with a girl, the girl was either Kitty's or Brian's or Dino's or Rumours. It was never his girlfriend. And the girlfriends, I don't know whether I can say it's stupid of them, because I would never allow my men to introduce me to their woman as somebody else's girlfriend. I would never allow that. But for them, they did. They allowed that to happen. Even when I separated with Genius, if any time I went to his house, if there were girls there, they would be sneaked out. He would hide them. I would never allow that to happen. So with me, he never showed me that side of him. I knew he was a player, but I never caught him red-handed. That I knew that my man, I need to have a strong heart. I was supposed to have a strong heart. I had a strong heart. Genius played. He enjoyed playing. He enjoyed partying. He enjoyed his life. I'm sure he actually has no regrets because there's nothing he did not do under this earth. There is nothing, absolutely nothing that Genius did not do. He traveled the world. He played the most. He did everything that he wanted to do. But with Zodwa was always a wife. She must stay at home. The only place he would take me to is restaurants. We go and eat. That's all he did. Or we go to church together. That's all I was good for. He would tell me, you want to go clubbing? I only go to the club with bitches. Excuse the language. That's exactly what Genius would talk. So he went with the bitches to the club. The wife stayed at home. Those were his words.
Wow. Okay. Zodwa. So did you ever have like any girls calling you or stressing you that you are
No,
dating Ginimbi and stuff?
never.
You know how girls act.
They never, no one ever called me. And I also never called them. I mean, I would never reduce myself to their levels. Never, ever. I'm a woman of very high status. I value my life so much. I value myself. I love myself. I would never reduce myself to the levels of the girls that he dated.
All right, Zodwa, and then there's an issue of people saying that Ginimbi had a snake that was vomiting money. So what can you say about that?
I really wish that was true.
Zodwa, if he did, please, I need you to tell me where
I really wish, like right now, I really wish he had that snake because I will inherit it. It would vomit that money for me. But I mean, look, if a snake can vomit money, Josie, it means I must not put as much work as I'm putting now because I've got easy money that just come. A snake will just vomit. I just pick the money. I go and buy a Louis Vuitton. I buy an LV shoe. I buy Gucci. I buy whatever I want because it's easy money. But Genius was a hard worker. That boy did not sleep. He worked throughout. Genius would go to Zambia to go and buy gas. He would go to Congo to look for new business ventures. He went everywhere. He would go to Mozambique. He went everywhere. As far as I knew him, Genius would leave me. He lived between Zimbabwe and South Africa. I would go to South Africa. I never saw anything amiss in his house. Anything that showed that Genius had a snake. If he had a snake, it meant I knew about the snake. Because if he then went to South Africa and left me in Zimbabwe for a month, I needed to feed the snake. Otherwise, the snake would feed on me. So I never came across that snake, if ever it was there. Even if I went to South Africa, I never saw the snake. So I don't know where these people... And the problem with us Africans, an African person can never be wealthy because of hard work. You have to have had juju or something that makes you rich. Yet, if Genius was white, I don't think anyone would be talking about juju or snakes or anything. He was just a hard worker who enjoyed his life, who enjoyed his money, who enjoyed his fun. That was Genius for you. Snakes, I don't know nothing about them. There's so many snakes in Zimbabwe. Those that say he had a snake that vomited, go and get your own snake and make it vomit money for you. And see if you'll be able to get the money that is coming out of a python and use that money. I don't think anyone can stand a snake. No matter how small or how big, no one can stand a snake. People will run away from snake, let alone stay with a snake in the house. How can one stay with a snake in the house? It's not possible. The guy was just a hard worker. That's all he was. He was not perfect, but he was a hard worker. And no one is perfect anyway.
Absolutely true, Zodwa. And some people also wanted me to ask you if you know about Genius's relationship when he was still alive with his father. Was his relationship with his father perfect?
Well, I never saw anything wrong with the relationship with the father. It was like his father and son relationship. You would go in, they didn't stay in the same house. Daddy stays about, I think, 200 meters away from from Genius' house. So they saw it. Genius had time for himself and he put his friends first before everyone else. But that did not mean that he did not love his family. He loved his family. He had a strange way of showing it, but he loved his family. He had a good relationship. Daddy had he's got his own gas business that he was running or that he is running. He was also fond of football. Sundays he played football, a football club that Genius sponsored. It was Pioneer Gases. So I don't think that he had a bad relationship with his dad.
Okay, and now let's talk about the estate, Genius estate. We saw that he left.
And I am not. Let's correct one thing. It's been all over social media that Zodwa is claiming his estate. He wants to take the house. He wants to do this.
That's why we have this platform to clear all these issues.
I do not want to take Genius' house. As much as the house is mine, I lived with that guy for 10 years. And you know, by the rules of Zimbabwe, if you live with a man for 6 months, automatically married or not married, you become married. So whatever you acquire together, you are supposed to share 50-50. Genius, we built that house together from scratch. The first brick, we put it in together. At that time, Genius was staying with me in my Highlands house. when we built in that house. We built it from day one until it was finished. I don't want anything to do with the house. Yes, Genius' last wish, he wanted that house to be turned into a hotel. I support that 100%. I'm going to make sure that comes to pass. I'm going to assist the family to make sure that that hotel is a success, and we advertise, we market it. I run a travel agency. So through Travel, we're going to make sure that we market the Domboshawa Mansion to become the hotel that Genius wanted it to be. I'm not claiming anything there. I don't want anything to do with Genius House. As much as I'm a part owner, but I don't want anything to. I've got my own properties. I've got my own house, which is equally as big as the Domboshawa Mansion, which Genius himself built. He helped me build my house. So I've got no reason to want to get his house when he's dead, when I could have gotten it when he was alive. So that is, whoever thinks I'm going to do that, they've got something wrong. There's something wrong with them. We've never discussed the house, either with his family or myself with my friends. I've got no intentions whatsoever. My intention is to make sure I support Juliet, Nelia, and Baba, to make sure that everything that Genius owned, his legacy lives on. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to help them, assist them whenever they need me. They can call on me anytime. We have got no beef. We're very close, actually. Genius or no Genius, we've got our own bond that we've always had over the years, that Genius made possible. So I've got nothing against anybody, especially his immediate family.
All right, Zodwa, and we also want to talk about Rumours' relationship with Ginimbi. I'm touching on all the issues, the nitty-gritties, the rumors, the gossip, social media. Some people are saying that now Rumours is going around collecting Ginimbi's debts. Rumours, he was behind what happened.
Collecting Ginimbis what?
Rumours that.
He's collecting what?
Ginimbi, people that are owing Ginimbi. He's going around collecting people that are owing Ginimbi, like collecting debts.
No, that's not correct. As far as I know, I speak to Remo almost every day. Remo, in his own capacity as Remo, he has never once mentioned who owes Ginimbi, who doesn't owe Ginimbi, or I'm going to collect this or collect that. If he was collecting anything, it would be for the good of Genius Estate. But I've never had Remo one day telling me that I have to go and collect this from this person. Remo was working together with Genius at the Dreams nightclub, which I think he's still doing that. His interest is to make sure that Genius' dream of dreams lives on. So the people that think, when someone is gone. People will say so many things. We love Remo so much. Remo is because of the same Remo that we had a body also to bury. Genius could have also perished, like all the people that perished in that accident. It's God that protected Genius' body so that we had something to remember him with. So saying Remo is doing these things behind our back, that is not correct. It is actually not right. Those people that are saying these malicious talks about Remo, please, you must stop. We are still mourning. The same Remo is mourning. Remo was living with Genius in the same house. Remo stayed with Genius, drove with Genius. He was literally with Genius 24/7. He was the first person to arrive at the accident scene because he was driving behind Genius. So for people to think that Remo would go around collecting whatever Genius had out there, it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. And I've not heard of anybody out of Genius friends that has gone out there claiming that Genius was owed this, I'm collecting or I'm representing. As far as I know, whoever owes Genius, they're supposed to come to the family or go to the executor and say whatever they owe Genius and pay it to the executor or approach the family. As far as we're concerned, no one has done that to date. So it is wrong for people to think that Remo is doing that.
All right, Zodwa, let's talk about Genius' funeral. The way Genius was mourned, I think it's still talk of the town. It is still talk of the town. The guy was mourned, Zodwa. I mean, kudos to you, his friend. It's so shocking how many people came out to mourn Genius. A lot of people on the streets. I remember talking to you a day after the burial. You're telling me that it took you guys 5 hours to get to Domboshawa from the city. So Was this genius money that you guys used to bury him for his funeral, or what happened?
All his friends and my friends came together. Genius was a people's person. And all the friends that loved Genius, friends of Ginimbi, they came together and put money together to bury Genius. We were not about to start asking the relatives or the people that were working Genius that, oh, please just give us money to bury Genius. He was a people's person. Ginimbi would have done the same thing for any of his friends if they were to pass away. He would have brought people together, collected money from friends, people will contribute and they would bury that person. So the same thing happened to Genius. All his friends came together, all my friends, we all came together, put money together, and we did not want any penny from the family, not that they could not afford, but because we felt Genius was our person as friends. He was our person. We wanted to give him a befitting burial. What he would have wanted. Genius was a very flamboyant guy. Genius wanted the light, the beautiful things in life, the finer things of life. That's what he wanted. So we are the ones who knew exactly what he would have wanted. So that is why the friends took over. We asked, of course, we asked for permission from the family if we could do it. The boys bought him a coffin from South Africa. He loved Versace, as you all know. His coffin was a Versace coffin. It came from South Africa. And people say that he bought his own coffin before he died. That's not correct. That coffin was bought by Genius friends from South Africa. Then it was brought into Zimbabwe. And Dove's funeral services came through for us. They assisted us in a very great way. And, it was, as much as we were mourning, but all the friends made it easy for us to bury Genius.
All right, Zodwa, and did you and your friends or maybe the family compensate the other families or the fatalities, also the Bonda fit that Genius had an accident with?
I think, as far as I know, I was busy mourning, but I know that money was sent to Moana's family. I'm not sure about the Mozambican family. I'm also not sure about the guys in Malawi because I was not communicating with them. But I was told that some money was sent to Highfields, to Moana's family. So I don't know much. I can't speak for those, but I know Genius friends were talking to the families, to all the families. So I don't know to what extent. I can't say in figures how much was given out, but I know, especially for the Moana girl, they were given something by the family.
Okay. So you have a lot of friends, Zodwa. I mean, we cannot conclude this without mentioning, we spoke about this earlier on, who exactly is that your friend that would be like Remo? I mean, we will all die. We are all in the departure lounge. We're just waiting for our different dates. Who is that friend that would be like Remo and Kit Kat for you?
I've got a BFFL. I call it my BFFL, my best friend for life. Her name is Danya Kabwebwe. She's a very good friend of mine. We've been friends forever. She's one person that I know that if anything was to happen to me today, she'll leave everything she's doing and she'll come and be there. We've got a group called the Rich Cousins. The Rich Cousins there's about 14 of us. Those are the girls that came, that were with me from the time Genius was pronounced dead. They were with me at the accident scene. They were with me at the funeral. They were with me from day one until Genius was buried. There's Tandy, there's Belinda, there's Craig. There's so many of them. There's Nobukosi, there's Marvelous. There's so many of them. There's Zari in South Africa. There's Esther. Look, I've got so many friends. But all those friends, I know they'll drop what they're doing and come and be with me or be with my kids should anything happen to me. But the first person that I know, if something happened to me today, my kids will pick up the phone. Auntie Danya, this is what has happened. My kids will do that. Auntie Zari, this is what has happened. Auntie Tandy, I know all my friends, if they were called, they'll be there for me. But best friend for life, Danya Kabwebwe.
Okay. So, and Zodwa, if someone it's too late for us to talk about Ginimbi is gone. But I mean, you were with Ginimbi from the time he started. You told me that you met Ginimbi, I don't want to say when he had nothing, but you grew. Ginimbi grew with you. So there are some guys, I mean, there's so many guys out there that want to learn or to know how Ginimbi did it. How did Ginimbi really do it, Zodwa? How did he become that billionaire, rather? I mean, how did he survive that lavish life?
Ginimbi was a hustler. And Genius liked the finer things in life. Hence his hard work. He worked so hard. So much that sometimes you will feel sorry for him. You'll come home so tired because he will be working 24/7, thinking of new ideas. We must do this. If I do this, maybe this will happen. Let me try this. He started working. When I met him, he was running Pioneer Gases. That's what he was doing. That's his first love. So that's what he did first, and this is what he was still doing up to today. Then he started doing other businesses. He started doing petroleum, selling fuel. This was a business that he was doing when he was living in South Africa, bringing fuel to Zimbabwe, taking fuel to South Africa. He then bought a company in Botswana, I think in 2013, 2014. He was selling gas there in Botswana as well. So he's always been a hustler, wanting to do different things that were going to make him the person that he wanted. You know, the public knew Ginimbi, but they didn't know what he had to do to make that name stick. He always wanted the whole world to know that Ginimbi, the money boy, Ginimbi, this lifestyle, everything was about his lifestyle. Everything was about how he lived his life. That's what he did. So he never wanted to fail. He also never wanted to lack anything. As much as when I met him, he was also starting his business. I had also just started mine. Mine was 3 years old when I met him. I started Traverse 2003 and I met Genius 2006. My business maybe grew faster than his business. So whatever money I made, I would help him. There was times when I would be down, then he would be up. He would give me money. We would work together. You know, it was always whose business is doing better at that particular time, and we will bail each other out. That was how we managed, or he managed to build his empire.
I'm just reading comments here. So people are asking how can they also join the Rich Cousins group?
The Rich Cousins, it's not possible to join. You know what happens, how it came about. We've got the 14 friends. So what we do is we give each other money on our birthdays. There's a certain amount, like a subscription that we give when, like, for example, it's my birthday. Everyone, the 14 of us, will bring a certain amount of money each. It's the same amount for everyone. So that money it's like a birthday gift. Others will still buy birthday presents over and above that. Normally, we travel outside the country, a destination of choice. We buy our own tickets, and then the birthday person would either do the dinner or whatever they decide to do, a party on the actual birthday. So we sponsor ourselves in everything except for the actual birthday. That's when the owner of the birthday will either do a dinner or do a party for us. I don't think we've got room for more people in the group. Sorry.
That is so mean.
No, but there's another group for the poor cousins that was trying to start. Maybe we grow them from. Those are the ones that we're mentoring. So we'll mentor them, then they'll graduate into the Rich Cousins.
You really make me laugh. Okay. So there's a story, I really wanted to avoid this, but it keeps coming up. Did Genius have a child?
Okay, up to the time of his death, none that we know of. There's only one that we knew of, which we both looked after because we had taken that child in with Genius. We thought the child was his child, but we did a DNA, and the DNA was negative. It was all over the newspapers. I'm sure those that read newspapers, they know about that. So not that we know of. Genius never had a child. I know they say there's a child in South Africa, and that child that they put in South Africa who said, why did you leave me there? That's my daughter. That Genius was wearing a red thing and with a young girl holding him like this. That's my daughter that was holding Genius. That's the child that they've given a name, Tatenda, or whatever name they've given that girl. That's Melissa. That's my daughter. So biologically, no. But yes, he raised my kids.
Yeah, but there's something you told me before the interview. You said if anybody thinks they have Genius kids,
they must come along. They must bring the kids. We'll do a DNA. They must bring the kids. If
So
they
okay,
have,
if
you know
you
what?
have a child with Genius,
If anyone has a child for Genius, like, I'm sure, well, I don't know, they wouldn't approach me, maybe because they wouldn't approach me, maybe they would approach the family that they have a child. But yes, let the child come. But yes, a DNA is awaiting whoever thinks has a child with Genius. Fortunately now, you can do a DNA with the father, you can do a DNA with the sisters. So that can happen. I would not allow anyone to come and claim Genius legacy because they think their child is Genius' child. Because automatically, if someone is Genius' child, automatically they have to claim Genius legacy. We've got no problem with giving them what belongs to their dad, but the DNA must come first.
someone says Ginimbi was married before you. Where is that woman? She was really sick in 2014.
She's very well. She's alive. I know her. I've met her, and she's not sick at all.
Okay, and someone says, is Pokelo part of the rich cousins?
No, no, she's not. Pokelo is a daughter to me, so she's not. Her mom is a big sister.
Okay, and what is your relationship like with Zari and Diamond Platinum?
Zari is a very good friend of mine. She's based in South Africa with Diamond Platinum. I'm the godmother to Zari and Diamond's children. I met Zari way before she dated Diamond Platinum, when she was still married to Ivan, who then passed away. And then, but I think they divorced when she met Diamond, and they started dating. And then Tifa came along, then Prince Nilan came along. So we have a very good relationship with both of them, both Diamond and Zari. They are family.
And so people are saying Ginimbi is gone, Zodwa, can we hook up? Oh, I have a lot of guys for you here.
Give them my number. But I'm still mourning though, so.
So you guys, she's still mourning. I mean, she's a widow for a while, so you just inbox me and I'll give you her numbers. Anyway, thank you so much, Zodwa. I think we have tried to clear the air and answer all the questions. It's been a very good chat, and my very deepest condolences. I mean, this is the millionth time I'm saying this to you, that you had to lose Ginimbi. I know how tight you guys were. I mean, I used to come and eat my guru and sada. You know how you people would.
Yeah, he was a traditional man. He loved his traditional food, so he didn't eat these salads, the pizza. He actually never ate pizza. He would not eat pizza because he didn't understand what pizza was. So he would eat his maguru, his matumbu, his mabonzo, and his sadza. That's all he ate. So, and his rice in the evening. He loved rice and chicken at night. But during the day, weekends, everyone who came home to visit, they knew that on Saturday we'll cook 20 kgs of mabonzo. And from lunch hour until 5 p.m., whoever came, there was enough for everyone. He was a people's person. His house was always packed with people. Hence, this number of people that came for his funeral.
So people are asking, Zodwa, how old are you?
I'm 48, proudly 48, to be 49 in February, and 50 in 2022. And I'm throwing a massive party in Dombo Shower Mansion Hotel.
Yay! That's good.
And the white parties are going to continue, by the way, as a memory to Ginimbi. 10th of October every year, we'll try to make sure that we always have something going on at the mansion in memory of Genius.
Okay, and amongst Genius friends, do you see anybody who's going to continue his legacy of, Ginimbi, my life, your TV, Champopo? He was just...
you know what? Even if anyone tried to do it, I don't think it will be the same. So I'm sure they'll be posting videos to remember what he used to do and all that. I don't know. Let's watch the space and see. But the close friends of Genius, they were not as loud as he was. So I don't think any one of them will be able to do it. But you never know.
And the white parties were not a ritual of some sort?
Never a ritual. Those white parties started 2010. I was there when the first party happened. There were no rituals. It just was white party because he wanted to dress in white and he wanted something that that was said. This is what Ginimbi started, which is the white parties. So they were never about any rituals. It's people don't want to listen to people that have something of their own. It's like me at Travel. Every year I've got parties that I do. They're not rituals. I'm thanking my clients for the business that they've given me throughout the year. Only that I don't have a dress code, which is all white. We dress differently. We've got a different theme every year. So people can't say it's a ritual because I'm having a Christmas party every year. It's only this year because of COVID, we couldn't do that. But every other year, since 2003, we have Christmas parties to thank our clients at Travel. So Genius having a birthday party every year, it doesn't mean it's a ritual. It's what he wanted to do. It's what he enjoyed doing. Which is why if we're going to continue doing the parties, ritual, what ritual? To benefit what?
The snake vomiting.
Get your own snake and have your own white party and let the snake.
Zodwa, I want one.
You must have some because you come from Nigeria. I'm told there in Nigeria there's the juju methods of juju. Give me one snake as well. Then it can vomit.
Zodwa, if my husband comes from Nigeria, but if there were easy snakes or to find snakes in Nigeria, would I be in this cold in Europe?
You see, that's what I'm saying. So if it's not easy to find a snake that can vomit money, what makes you think, or what makes the people think it's easy for Genius to find a snake? He brings it in his house, then it vomits for him. And it means if they're saying he ate a snake, I also ate a snake.
You know what? I wanted to wrap up this, but there are 3 questions. Zodwa, where did you buy your wig? She must not leave without saying some Ndebele words. She's Ndebele. She should be proud Ndebele. And this one you need to answer. Why was Passion Java banned from the funeral?
I'm not aware that he was banned.
No, but the way you're laughing, tell us.
No, I'm not aware. I'm not aware that he was banned. Who says he was banned? I'm not aware. You know what? I'm not going to answer things that I know nothing about. I was busy mourning, so I never saw him come if he came. I never heard about him being banned if he was banned. I don't know.